Well, so we have to look at the newspapers. I see Mama V shuffling through a couple of them. Mama V, good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
You look a bit different today.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to ask.
I wanted to look,
a bit different.
Ghanaian and
very
everything
Ghanaian.
this morning.
It looks very colorful.
Yeah, you'll be seeing more of this, but this is from Ajoyeboa. Another Ajoyeboa collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I love it. But, well, we know your roots. Eastern region, getting into Greater Accra. I'm lying. Yeah. She lives near Pokwasi. And so let's just take you through the route. We have the Ring Road Central route, and this one will be taking you from the industrial area. You go over the overhead, the interchange, but it looks like there's more traffic rather when you're heading towards Kanda and some of those areas, and the route that will take you through Circle rather seem to be free. So that's the tip we can give you if you want to use that route this morning. Very easy. And let's go to the next. We also have to take a look at the next route where we have the cameras. We'll quickly do that in the meantime. We'll take you to the Tema roundabout. It's the intermediary or the transition between where you have to go through or, go through before you get to Tetekwashi. And so there's an ongoing construction, is an extension of the Tema Port expansion project. The traffic is not that much for those who are coming from Dowenya, those who are also coming from Beachley, the routes that will lead you from Pong or Jopanya, many of those areas that will take you through the Ashama roundabout. But subsequently, we should also look at the next route. Take you to the next route, definitely, and it will definitely be this one, which is off. But well, we told them they should clean the lenses of the cameras. I'm sure they'll do that by close of today or tomorrow. But in the meantime, this one is overlooking the Airport City area, not much of traffic. And so if you're coming from the Spinters Road, you will want to use that bypass that will take you through either just behind airport or the Polo Grounds area, and then you take it through the steps office that's around the airport, and then you can go through the airport roundabout and use this route to Elwak, etc. Easy route for you to use if you want to get to the switchback road, Osu, Laboni, many of those areas that will take you towards the other part of Accra. But for those who are coming from Adenta and Zongo Junction, Medina, East Legon, well, you have a bit of traffic, especially when you have to use that Shashi route to take you through the Sikkens area, or the main route that will take you from the University of Ghana main route of Ponglo, heading towards Shangri-La Airport. There's a bit of traffic, but for those who are coming from Tema through the motorway, it's a good route to use. If you're heading towards Abekam, you're going to Kaswa, or many of those areas in the central region, just linking the N1, you can always use this route. It looks like the overpass rather is better, and those who are heading towards Accra would be in serious traffic. It's just 35 minutes past 6, but those are some of the difficulties you'll be facing this morning. The main header will be crossing that main route to airports. We're ready as well. Okay, Mama V.
I was just looking at the updates. USA, and I've been talking about the Women's World Cup.
There was a thrashing of a team. Which team perpetrated that shameful, sinful act?
I was going to ask you.
I heard some, it's a walloping or something, but
I've heard demolished.
Demolished. I'm yet to get myself up to date.
You talked about trash.
Trash. Yeah, I heard walloping. Yeah.
Okay, so that was USA beating Thailand like 13.
In the ongoing Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, 1-0, man.
The Thais. What did they eat? I'm sure they ate those their dishes.
But you can't blame USA. They are the defending champions. So
right.
All right, time for us to look into the newspapers and tell you what is making headline today in Ghana. Let's begin with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Here we go with what's on the front page of the paper today. Ofusuampofu granted bail. Court throws out injunction against limited voter registration. Also, Ghana Cote d'Ivoire fire Salvo threatened to withhold cocoa sales, demand $2,600 per tonne. And then also Guyana confers highest national award on President Akufo-Addo. And there is the countdown to AFCON 2019. Roland, I heard you say 11. 11. It's 9.
It's 9 days.
Yes, we're very close to, yeah.
9
All right,
days.
center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Akufo-Addo calls for change in ILO governance structure. Also, Australian government votes 281,000 Ghana cedis for, let's get the full name, for the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center counter-terrorism cause. That's what's on the center spread of the paper. Details of these stories right there in the graphic center spread. And on the back page of the Daily Graphic, 350-bed teaching hospital inaugurated at Okwenya. Roland, this is near Akuse in Yellow Crop. How do you pronounce that? Okwenya.
Okwenya.
Okwenya. Okay. All right. So
Okwenya.
Okwenya. All right. So that's what's on the back page.
Either I'm sure maybe Okwe will be a water body or something. So the mouth.
Okay. All right. So from the Daily Graphic, we move to the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Front page of the Dispatch. There's research on performances of the 275 members of Parliament in the inside pages. So just in case you want to catch up with, you know, even though we've had lots of fallouts from this. Yesterday, the Speaker also reacting to this research. And anytime the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana comes out with something, it turns a bit controversial. You know, people disagree strongly and people agree.
Yeah, I think their last main work was the 2016 survey that predicted who could lose the election and based on what terms. I think also what they've been able to do right is try to say, if for this research, if you wanted to vote today, who would you vote? Would you retain the MP or not? So it was a question and also trying to get the mindset of what the people think they expect of the MPs based on what they told them. I don't know whether there's a certain misunderstanding as to what they think they told their constituent when they were campaigning.
I get the Speaker trying to say that parliamentarians, their job simply is to make laws, right? We all get it. That is what is on paper. But when they go down to the people, what do they tell them? And yesterday, I just wanted to give Mr. Speaker a little reminder. I thought there was something called the common fund. Don't they all have their funds, right?
In reality, technically, they don't control the common fund.
But they are able to say what they want their share to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the common fund, technically, and what the structure of its disbursement is disbursed through the Metropolitan Municipal District Assembly.
Absolutely.
But you can decide how
I have heard MPs say, I use my share of the common fund to do this, to do that for the constituency.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whichever way you look at, but most of them go
and... There's even a recent one in which, I don't know whether it's an advocacy or maybe it's been done, they're going to have, they're advocating for the national health insurance, some aspect of it, or whether the fund itself, for them to use in healthcare provisions.
Well, let's continue with the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Front page, here's what we have. More appointees looking for seats in 2020 elections, appropriately so. So they have a few of those on the front page of the paper. Michael Otre Befi, New Job in South, Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, Tamale Central with a question mark, Mustafa Yusuf, is it Kubori? John Kuma, they are putting a Jusso with a question mark. So are these the places that they are looking at? Are these the seats that they are looking at taking? NPA takes, I also had Hassan Tampuli yesterday, I think. NPA takes cylinder circulation module to Ashanti region. And that will be it really for the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Let's move on to the Finder, and I'll finish up with the Ghanaian Times. So from the Daily Dispatch, my next paper is the Finder newspaper. Here's what's on the front page of the paper today. No floor price, no cocoa sale. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire serve notice on 2020-2021 crop season. Ghana remains safe and security agencies remain vigilant. That's Kojo Ponkroma saying there. 1.5 million pregnant mothers to benefit from GEV scan by 2020. I'm sure you're wondering what that is. Okay, so let's see. That is the VScan Access Task Shifting Program. The program is being implemented by General Electric Healthcare in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service. It houses ultrasound technology that provides doctors with an immediate non-invasive method to help secure visual information about what is happening inside the body. At almost the size of a smartphone, the portable V-scan can easily be taken from room to room to be used in many clinical, hospital or primary care settings. So if you want details of what's on the front page, is in the inside pages. Also, Glow vows or wows dealers with Dubai holiday trip. That's what's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Hey, did I say Daily Dispatch? No,
yeah,
that's a finder.
That's a finder.
That's a finder. Let's do the last one, which is the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana Cote d'Ivoire to stop cocoa sale on open market from 2020-2021 season. Pensioner in trouble for swindling businesswoman. Police arrest Ofosuam Pofu, but we know how it ended. He was granted bail, right? Supreme Court throws out case against Electoral Commission. There you have it. What's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. I'll take you to the center spread. One news story in the center spread. Ghana's fuel utility prices set to anchor inflation for the rest of year. Another central bank rate cuts likely in next 2 meetings. That's according to First National Bank. Is a prediction that they're given. Back page of the paper. Contractors threaten to lock up 766 public schools if government fails to pay them. This is very worrying. Story says that the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors and Conscientious, that's a mouthful. Public sector contractors is part of their name. They've threatened to lock up all 766 public schools facilities built if government fails to pay them for work executed. The association has therefore given the government up to the end of June or end of June 26 to clear the more than 800 million Ghana cedis debts it owed members. Speaking at the joint press conference yesterday in Accra, the president of the Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors, his name is Prosper Leddy, he questioned the whereabouts of the $500 million loan secured by the government to pay them. There's more on the back page of the paper, as you can see. South Korea gives $55,000 to combat post-harvest losses in horticulture produce is another story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. There's a story on page 3 still in the Times. It says student granted 12,000 Ghana cedis bail for fraud. Is a 30-year-old student who allegedly defrauded 2 people of a total of 14,000 Ghana cedis. He's now been granted bail in the sum of 12,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties by the Enchi District Magistrate Court. Matthew Affle, that's the name of the accused, a student of the WA campus of the University for Development Studies, was taken and the case has been adjourned to June 13. Details of exactly what he did, you can check it out.
All right.
It's on page 3 in the Ghanaian Times. I'll leave that to you.
Can I do the paper?
Yes, please do.
Right. So we do the Daily Guide, has on the front page of Ofosuam Pofu arrested, the Daily Guide. Other stories there, court dismisses injunction against EC. Ghana remains safe, says government. Kidnapped Canadians, hostel closed down, center spread. Stoneboy kicked out of Kenyan hotel. We know that he's had a reaction on his Twitter and other Facebook handles. Or other social media handles.
I didn't hear that story. He was thrown out?
Yeah, you know, Morgan Heritage organized African leaders events.
Yeah, that concert where he was. Yeah.
So apparently there had been some social media comments and postings from some Kenyans who are in the entertainment industry in that country who were saying that apparently they haven't been paid, etc. And Yemi Alade went to confirm that yesterday, also had posted that it was her most horrible experience in Kenya, but she was not daunted. Stoneboy before yesterday had said it was a good concept.
Okay.
But apparently there were emerging signs from those postings from the Kenyan entertainment players that they hadn't been paid, and that the Morgan Heritage team should not be made to leave their airport from Nairobi and all that. So it made the Ghanaian entertainment media draw those conclusions. But he said it was okay. But you know, I always say that we have to follow Shatawale. He says that Charlie could in a hand, back in the ground. You don't have the money, don't
but Stoneboy is not complaining, is he? So why are you bringing Shatawale into the conversation? I think you should stick to the rest of the headlines.
Now it's a whole unity game now. I'm only talking about how they have to make sure they get their acts right. Men's gold customer, center spread. We're talking center spread. Men's gold customer threatened my family, George Quaid. Ghana, Ivory Coast crave higher prices. We're talking in cocoa here. And we go to the Statesman. The Statesman newspaper will be on your screens. It has the stories. Main banner headline. Cocoa calls the market's bluff. And then fugitive NDC chairman smoked out. Police to release official statement today.
But I thought he took himself there, didn't he?
I'm told.
Yeah.
And so we look at the last paper, the Herald. Ghana's military fails to make list of 10 in Africa amid heightened terrorist attacks, and NDC national chairman arrested with frivolous claims. And Dubai Interpol refuses to extradite men's gold boss. Has an attached picture of Nam1, Nana Apia Mensa 1. All right.
You know, I don't like the fact that we're only told, you know, it's always one-sided, isn't it? So this bit says, so there's a statement, more like a case for that alerts to go off, Cote, you know, for him to be released. I mean, it's always, nobody's really telling us, nobody's actually giving us more details, and I really don't want to be dragged into this.
Who's supposed to
Why
give
am
you the
I even
detail?
talking about
it's
it?
It's the police.
I don't want to be dragged into it.
But I think
I hate the fact that I don't know all the issues with Nam1. I'm not clear in my mind why he's being held in Dubai. I'm not clear in my mind the case for which we sent officials with public funds from Ghana, a whole team to go to Dubai. I'm not clear in my mind what it is that they're holding him there for, the case in terms of how it's progressed or not, you know, all of that. And so I don't like to read a one-sided statement.
One
That's
thing is
all
for
I'm
sure.
saying.
It looks like all the investments made by the men's gold customers seem to have gone down the drain.
Well.
Okay, so I wanted to comment on cocoa.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, in 2018 there was a joint technical committee, and it was one of the things that we agree on between the two countries, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. And so we said we wanted to make sure that we protected the pricing on the world market, because in reality we produce between the two countries 60% of the world's cocoa, but the cocoa industry, that is the raw produce, the derivatives, and then along the value chain, what you get by way of the output, the product, the chocolate and all, was worth $110 billion US, Mama V.
Oh, wow.
And do you know how much the two of us get? The two countries? Only $5 billion.
Now who cost some?
We did. Now we say that we want to do what the oil producing countries did back in the 1960s, in which they decided to put together their own cartel and make sure that, and so they had OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. But the thing is that cocoa and the way we should have maximized the production and the derivative or the output, we've long passed that. Even if we do this, in my opinion, we're going to control somewhat the pricing, but are we going to have the market share that will bring us the needed revenue? Because mind you, we have 110 as the whole capitalization of the industry. If that is the case, how much are we targeting? And in order for us to meet that target, how much effort are we going to put in to make sure that we get the value chain right, to put value on the raw cocoa beans that we're going to produce ultimately? Because if you take a look at it, it's not only about the production. You produce more because you want to earn enough by way of selling and get the pricing right and get some revenue. But if you don't put value on it, then you get nothing. Because at the end of the day,
you're still selling raw beans.
Exactly. So we're going to sell raw beans, but how much of the $110 billion are we going to get? Are we targeting? So all these things we're doing for our citizens to see that we're doing good things, yeah, it's good enough. But how much are we targeting? How do we even get there?
There's an ongoing conversation. I think it was 2 days yesterday, and I think today. I guess they would give us more details from that. But these are the side issues from what is happening in Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, sitting down and having a conversation about our cocoa and trying to make some hardcore decisions. The Ghanaian Times, I went to page 3, but there are more crime stories that I thought, let me touch on bits and pieces. This one about the pensioner in trouble is actually on the front page, so a bit of that. It says a 70-year-old pensioner who defrauded a businesswoman in Kumasi has been granted 2,000 Ghana cedis bail with 2 sureties by the Nkawie Circuit Court. I'll just fast forward to exactly what he is allegedly been said to have done in the story. So the accused was a retired settlement planner, or is a retired settlement planner, while the complainant is a businesswoman living in Kumasi. The court heard that in the year 2003, the accused, who posed as the chief of Odinihome Kwada, a suburb of Kumasi, sold land to the complainant at a cost of 4,000 Ghana cedis. So this has to do with land. Prosecution said the accused later stopped the complainants from developing the land, claiming somebody was contesting ownership of the land. The complainant detected that another person was developing the land and informed the accused. He said the accused could not give any tangible explanation to the complainant, and so she reported the case to the Nkawie police. So that's where we are. But there's also another story that says journalist robbed of 800 Ghana cedis. Phone, a female sports presenter working with the Sun City Radio in Sunyai in the Bonot region, was on Monday attacked and robbed of 800 Ghana cedis and phone at her apartment. The robber, wielding a pair of pliers and a dagger, forced to open the door to Princess Nafisa's apartment about 1:30 a.m. She told the Ghanaian Times that the robber took advantage of the morning downpour and carried out the operation. The rest of the story you can read on is on page 3. And then also, man remanded for robbing students. A 19-year-old unemployed who attacked and robbed a student on his way to church has been remanded by the Nkawie Circuit Court in the Etrima Nwabieja municipality. Details of that also on page 3 in the paper, the Ghanaian Times.
Well, we have to conclude the segment, and we've had some assurances, especially from a press conference by the Minister of Information, or a statement rather, and it's giving or trying to give all the assurances to the ordinary Ghanaian that Ghana is safe. And I think that's a good thing. If government wants to give that indication, then the first pointer for us to gauge as a benchmark whether the citizen feels safe is to hearing from the ordinary citizens themselves. And we've had series of incidents, daylight robberies involving shootings, in which we've not been given any concrete end as far as the related investigations are concerned about how we've progressed so far with those investigations. Now, too, we've also had incidents of kidnappings for which we're told that because of national security concerns, the citizens will not be updated as to where we are in relation to the effort that have been made either jointly by the Ghana Police Service and the Canadians, or whoever is assisting the Ghana Police Service and the security apparatus to make sure that we come to some conclusions on those investigations. I
think I should play back to you my conversation with Dr. Vladimir Nchidan, so because he speaks against some of the things that we request for, you know, in intelligence and in security. I mean, you can't be updating everybody everything that you're doing in detail.
It is true.
Or even constantly.
It is true.
Yeah.
But perhaps what I watch and read on the international media and literature that is available gives all indication that you need to give assurances to your citizens as to how well they feel safe. Okay. In relation to what happens elsewhere, especially in the United States.
So that's what isn't that what Kojo is doing right now?
No, we need the police apparatus to do that. There are daily briefings by the police. If it's a terrorist attack that is in the United States, you have daily briefings, not only to journalists, but to give the assurances to citizens that all is right. If it's in the United Kingdom, you have Scotland Yard coming in to give all those assurances to citizens. When we demand information, you don't have to give us every information, but what is relevant to make people calm down is important.
I agree with you, Roland Walker. They say we push them to say things that they don't intend doing, but I'm still wondering how we pushed the CID boss to say we know where the girls are, they will soon be reunited, because it wasn't a question. I mean, it was she coming out. Nobody forced her to come and organize that press conference that day.
Exactly.
Let's do myjoyonline.com. Here we go with what's on the front. Hey, did I say front page? Okay, so when you go on our news portal, myjoyonline.com, these are the stories you find. Winners announced for African Banker Awards 2019. Also, assessment of 275 MPs, issues of credibility and verifiability. ADI counters critics of government borrowing. It's a think tank you can read on. There's a video NDC Chairman of Uswampofo released. We have a conversation coming up on the AM show. You've got to stay. EC gets clear to go ahead with limited registration exercise. Government hints establishing creative arts oriented senior high school. Don't incite public against legislator. Speaker reacts to controversial survey. The whole idea is for Parliament to look at it and learn and work on it. Messi edges out Ronaldo to head Forbes top 100 highest paid athletes. No imminent threats. Ghana rejects UK, Canada security alerts. At Australia, because they've also issued an alert. Chief Justice, judges must be removed from legal education. Okay, pupils to enjoy free cocoa drink as breakfast from September 2019. And yesterday, we launched the National Science Maths Quiz. Everything happened fast. WAS finalist speaks out 2018 loss, and we remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah. Okay, more stories on myjoyonline.com. We know that Kwesi Appiah, the coach, has now come out with the players that are going to be playing in the Africa Cup of Nations. Well, so have all other countries, because the deadline, I think, was yesterday. So now we know the squad that we're going with. We have a conversation on the Africa Cup of Nations coming up on the AM show. In view of that, we're pushing Benedict to a bit later on this morning. We'll bring you AM Business, which is brought to us by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. That's what you see. After that is a conversation on the NDC chairman's arrests and bail. All the reactions here on the AM show. Please stay.
We'll be right back.